right, welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, day number 257. So, for the daily status update, there are, once again, no updates on any of these items. We still anticipate an appeal. There's no further information on that. I still have not mailed the one outstanding order in the online store, but I guess maybe I'll get out to do that tomorrow. And today I worked on the next long form video. Orthoplex 64, how's it going? Yashiro Haikawa says hi. How's it going? All right, so today we will continue with work on the terminal block mining simulation game. Let's see. I must have put the number wrong. It's 2016 or 26. Time is flying by. Buvan Manjanta says, yo, how's it going? Cybernetic Logos says, hello. I have an exam in 1.5 hours. You have an exam? How come you're not studying? You're fooling around on the internet, watching YouTube videos. How's 2016 treating you? That's pretty good. 2016. That was the second, I guess I started my business 2014. 2016. I guess I was teaching at the college then. Haven't studied? I know, you're watching too many YouTube videos. You gotta study. What exam is it? So yesterday, I spent the entire stream trying to figure out this one error that was solved just by doing new array list. And it was because sublist returns a view, which I guess it's not too surprising, but it kind of just subtly, I end up with like an iterator error if I try to do string.join on the array list. And that was not obvious and took a while to figure out. Bye, bruv. Gotta study? That's good. Now you'll do really well. 2016, moved to NYC with no money. Built a search engine for Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Wow. That's random. How do you move to NYC with no connections and then you immediately get networked with Jordan Peterson? Into Alexis Ohanian's cousin's robotics factory. Worked there for a while. Interesting. That's a very interesting story arc. Glad you like my comic on the Discord. Yeah, it's it's not bad. The Discord really didn't blossom into what I thought it would be, but I guess probably. Well, I don't know. There's a decent number of people there, but I could participate more, but I kind of don't really. I don't want to get like I already spend too much time on other things that don't produce enough return. I don't want to get myself too committed to chatting in Discords. Not a very good use of my time. 2016, I was working on robotics, smart home OS. Got networked with Alexis Ohanian's cousins first. Okay. Took 6 months to network with Jordan Peterson. Launched a product. Put it on subreddits. Eventually, someone wanted it for a site. Nice. Hopefully that was a big win, or I don't know if that worked out. Well, I guess depends how complicated the feature was, but. Okay, so this now works with see, I don't know what the error was there. Bad at business? It's hard to be good at business. Interesting. Maybe that's because when I move to a new line, I should set the cursor to the end of the line. Built the product as a generic thing for any YouTuber. Jordan Peterson's long lectures made a good fit for his audience, which is why I got traction there. Tried with a lot of YouTubers. Well, it's decent. It's nice you got some traction. So there's a very large percentage of software projects never get any uptake at all from anybody. So on the up and down arrows, it'll be necessary to let's do it up first. So this will have to be how's the game holding up? It's coming along. I've only been doing hour streams, so this the progress is slow but grinding when it's only an hour at a time while you're chatting with people on the internet. Stay at your apartment for now. If you haven't seen any of the updates, so the conclusion is they dismissed the N13s, but the landlord is trying to appeal to a higher court. So we've had there's been a total of 4 different hearings. The first one got canceled and rescheduled to a sooner one. That was just an adjudicative case conference. And then we had 2 N13 merits hearings. And about 14 of the residents won on a technicality in the first round. And then the rest of us won on the merits, saying that we demonstrated that there's not enough merit for them to evict, because they just did like no effort and just made up like some plans to change some of the pipes and stuff like that, but there's no effort put into it, and they did no inspections of anyone's apartment, and then they just handed out the exact same N13 to everyone in the entire building. And so October 14th, that was when we got the verdict that the N13 has been dismissed, and now they're appealing it to a higher court to try and continue on. But I think they lost. I think they lost fairly bad. We'll see how it goes. Makes sense. He's creating fear, uncertainty, and doubt. If anyone leaves, he wins with a market rate unit. Yeah, I think mathematically it makes sense. Like, if I was just, if I was a sociopath who was just saying like, how do I maximize money? It makes sense for him to appeal, because even just appealing, there's something like 30 something tenants who have been going through this for a year and a half, 2 years. I guess it's been 2 years now. If even a single person leaves, you can estimate what is the value of getting one of these people to give up their rent control, and it's probably like rents have gone down a bit, so it's, well, I guess it still would be on the order of like at least $10,000 a year once you get them out. And if you can scare even one, so the cost of filing an appeal, even if it's you put no effort into it, and just say like, I don't like this, it's wrong, and just don't do any legal research at all, then it has to like go through the whole court process, which takes time, and people have to be served and stuff. So that might cost like $2,000. But if they get one person to leave out of that 30 that's still around, then they win. And also if they do somehow win on it, then the upside could be big mathematically. Not trying to dig too much, but the property owner is pretty rich, is he not? I made a if you check the channel, I made a 2-hour long long form video where I didn't go too much into the owner. Actually, I need to put it's on my to-do list to go through it and put timestamps. I think if you, the most recent video I published, if you I guess to precisely answer a question, he's got at least I think a few $100 million worth of assets under management. Like he owns at least 20 buildings. But if you want to know more about him, if you check the most recent video I published, I also added I edited the description and I linked to a YouTube video which doesn't have many views, which actually there was an investigative journalism thing specifically about him. And if you don't want to watch the whole 2-hour video, which is mostly about all the nonsense and drama in the building, I think if you skip maybe to the 2-hour mark or so, I did talk a bit about the landlord in that. Unless there is some way to sue him for damages and frivolous renovation actions. He's in a low-cost, high-reward position. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the other stuff, like the nonsense here, like all the inconveniences and stuff, those have no merit to the actual the merits hearing. The what's accepted at the merits hearing is like extremely narrow evidence that's about, like, you know, details of the plumbing plans and stuff. And even lots of that, there was questions about, you know, what is admissible and what's not. It was quite rigorous. So yeah, and suing for damages or something would be just an uphill battle. Saw a bit of the video. 2 hours is a lot long. Yeah. I was hoping to kind of maybe I'd capture. It's just another experiment in the format. Also, I kind of I wanted to get all that information out there, but I also kind of didn't want to. I don't want to make my whole channel just about like renovation stuff. I'd kind of like to have. I don't want to mess up the algorithm and have like 20 videos about housing. Do you believe in the supernatural, ghosts, aliens, devils, angels, etc.? I would say no. I think pretty much every example of that, there's like some plausible explanation of it. Are you satisfied with the amount of money you made with YouTube in 2025? In 2025, the year, I mean, you can always have more money. I think if you actually measure the year, the calendar year, I think the total revenue is basically at what I made from consulting. So the consulting income has been completely replaced by YouTube in that year. However, a lot of that is front loaded to like the very start of the year when my videos were all trending, and the revenue has gone down substantially since then. So, and actually the month of December this year was very low. And currently the revenue is like, it's I don't know. It's still like on a downward trajectory, it seems. Although it's very confusing because I think it was November. It was up like 2.5 times, and then it went back down again last month. So the consistency on things, like the unpredictability of like knowing how much the revenue will be is not really cool. So it's conceivable that this year could, if the world economy collapses and stuff like this revenue this year could actually go down in revenue, which would not be cool. But my hope is that so far every calendar year of YouTube revenue has been higher than the last. So mathematically, the growth rate has been very good. Although the number is still, it's still not high enough. But if I can still just maintain, even like 20-30% annual growth, because salaries go down recently. Even in a good economy, you can only expect like a few percent salary growth. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. It seems like the labor market is getting pretty bad. I keep seeing lots of stories about how everyone's getting laid off and nobody can find jobs, and but then again, they're saying like it's bad, but the unemployment rate is like 6% or something. But that's not that crazy bad. But who knows? There's a lot of stuff happening in the news. All right, no seg faults. Or access violations. It's not 2008 yet. I have seen some people say that it's worse than 2008, what they're seeing so far. Okay, there's another case I need to do. Backspace at the start of line. Real crisis is still to show, right? I don't know. I guess it seems like the biggest crisis is like the number of super crazy political and like geopolitical things going on right now. Like this, this stuff in South America. Like that's, I think someone said. The last time the United States of America did military action down there felt like it was like 200 years ago or something. So we are kind of in unprecedented times. right now feels more like a ruse. What specifically? The AI bubble bursting this year. I think the way people talk about like bubbles, like there was the tulip bubble, which was that was, you know, the ultimate cause of that was that there was just like, you know, people got obsessed with this and there was not enough supply, and then you know, the price went up and then more supply came online, and then that was kind of the end of it. But as for AI, I think where we are, the right way to think about it is like AI actually is going to have I think massive implications. Like there's going to be some massive wins, massive productivity gains from it, but right now it's not clear. And like there's economic benefits, but I think there's also like military benefits, and I'm sure like the government is thinking about this very strongly from a national security perspective. So the current strategy, and also the economy is kind of weak, so I think they're kind of just dumping money into AI as much as possible. And like when the bubble bursts, I think it's more like a formulaic process. It's just like you know, one of these things is going to be the next big thing, so you just fund like all of them, and then after 2 years you come back and say like, okay, which of these AI companies is making the most money? And so a bunch of them lose money, and you just say, okay, you guys go bankrupt, and then the ones that are making money, those would be the ones that get the second round of investment. And there's all kinds of activities that are basically being subsidized. Like I'm sure a lot of those like AI slop videos that are being uploaded to YouTube, there's probably an arbitrage condition now where you just like pay money to these AI image video creators, and it probably costs the platform like 10 times as much money to make the AI video, and then you upload it to YouTube and you make like 1 cent in ad revenue, but you just do that automatically. And it's basically like costing, you know, the AI generator mass amounts of, it's like an enormously wasteful thing, but eventually that'll go away once, you know, in 1 or 2 years, the investors come in and they look, once there's actually data to look at, because right now they don't know, you know, is it viable or is it not viable? But we're probably starting to get to that point now where some of these companies know what's actually going to make money or not. WTF, are you coding, bro? I am coding a terminal-based video game. For example, OpenAI still losing money. Fears that it will be a financial fluke. Yeah. So I actually have been, honestly, I haven't been using it at all for coding, and it's still on my to-do list to seriously try out AI coding. That's the next thing after I finish the next video. But personally, for like video production and visuals, I have actually been using AI image generation a lot. I would say I've used AI image generation like way more. I use it for some of the community posts and stuff like that. And in terms of the economics, like in my opinion, the economic viability of using AI for image generation is 100% proven. I actually signed up to ChatGPT, and I'm paying for it to get a like faster version for like image generation. And even with the way it works right now, even if the results were not as good as they are, and if I had to wait longer, like if I had to wait 1 hour for these images to come back instead of like a lot of them are instantaneous, I would still pay. The value exchange is still there for me. So I think quite likely is after the time goes by, they may throttle down a lot of these things, and once they say like, okay, we're losing money on this, but at this point the product's already built, and everything that loses money, they just cut that off, and then the cash flow positive generating thing, that they'll just like focus in on that, because for sure there is a segment of audience that would continue paying for it, even if the result is worse and slower. So we may get to that point, or we may just continue, because it is still getting better and stuff. Like even I think in the last 6 months or so, in the image generation, it's actually remarkably faster. And I would say even within the last year, the state-of-the-art image generation is like it's getting crazy good. Like I can type out this paragraph long thing about like generate an image with this, and it's got all these details, and it's like, wow, this is incredibly it's just it's able to remember and combine so many details so quickly in such an accurate way. Guess we'll see what happens not too long from now. Yeah, I think what I think is actually happening is I actually think there's probably like a governmental thing where the government is like, we cannot lose on AI, and like OpenAI may be one of these like too big to fail type things. Like I assume that there's probably stuff that the public doesn't really know about, and I'm sure a lot of this stuff is being evaluated by the government, and they want to make sure that their models are the best and that they've explored all the edge cases, because I guess that it's a pretty big national security threat, I think, if a foreign government can get control of super good AI, because it is clearly able to it does really have moments where it kind of it goes way beyond what I asked it, and it generates some pretty clever stuff. Yeah, and there's also implications for there's so many ways to consider it. For population control, and there's all national security concerns and stuff. Like about do users? Some big people don't think about it as like, I'm sure mass amounts of people are leaking sensitive information by pasting it into ChatGPT prompts, saying like, "Hey ChatGPT, can you graph this data?" And it's like some super confidential internal data about like company revenue or something. And when you paste that, you're leaking the data to, you're giving like information that could be traded in the stock market, insider information about like earnings and stuff, to ChatGPT. I'm sure there's tons of people doing that. Does it have an extreme competitive edge if it works well? Yeah, in terms of the like image and video generation, it is getting better all the time. I was actually AI slop is really starting to fill up YouTube now. There was a video that came up in my feed about the real estate market, about like there's this issue with the pre-construction condo market here in Toronto, or like around Hamilton or something. And there was one of these like talking head videos talking about like the current state of the the market, and I actually watched like 8 minutes of the video before I realized it was AI. Like before, I've been on Twitter and I've seen, occasionally there's a video that It's like of some weird, crazy natural disaster or flood or something, and then I watch it for like 6 seconds, and I'm like, oh, it's AI, obviously. But this was the first one where I watched it for quite a while, and I was totally fooled because it was also really hyper specific information about like the local market, but I'm pretty sure the whole channel was just AI. And even after I thought it was AI, I was like, wait, am I getting like paranoid about AI? Because I have videos that I've produced that are real videos, and people accuse them of being AI. Can't earn money with AI videos on YouTube, right? I'm pretty sure you can. They downrank them. Well, so a few years ago, a couple of years ago when they first came out, like when there was all about like the spaghetti eating ones, there was a few of those. Like the first few of those made like, got like millions of views, but they kind of quickly nerfed those. But in the latest iteration, I think they're kind of like, they might get flagged, and they're kind of in a category of their own where the top performing ones actually do quite well. I think like on a day-to-day basis, some of the top earning videos are AI now, just because they're so easy to create. Okay. Are you already working on a long form video? Yes, I have one that's been in the works for a while. So that's what my days are on. All right, I think this will work. Oh, EAX -I. I forgot to acknowledge your greeting. How's it going? Okay, I think that's correct. Right, that works. But the cursor position's not right. You can see my chat. I can see the one chat there that says hello. Oh. If there's other chats that you're doing that are not making it through, it's just whatever the auto moderation is. I have it set to like auto chat. Time to goon it up to the max. Oh well, congratulations. That should be in the center. So it should take the size of the previous one. Dude, the one I'm sending was about government, so you can't see. Huh? That's amusing. Yeah, live streaming has made me aware of how interesting the world of censorship that we live in is. I kind of naively assumed that when people talked about like inappropriate stuff, like swear words and inappropriate behavior, that would be the thing. Like swear words would get you censored, but most of the moderation really does seem to be exactly what the tinfoil hat people are concerned with. It's I don't know. It's the most stereotypical thing is if someone makes a joke about a conspiracy theory, that almost always seems to be censored. But I kind of wonder if it could actually be just legit. They're trying to censor bad ideas they don't like, or it could also be like the probability. Like if someone makes a joke about a conspiracy theory, there are a couple people I've had to ban who are like really just like they're just spamming nonsense about like some conspiracy, some perceived conspiracy, and they want me to do something about it, and of course it's just like spam basically. So I have to ban that stuff. So I guess the people who say conspiratorial things probably have a higher probability of getting like flagged. Like if you start spamming stuff about chemtrails, like other people are probably more likely to report you. So it could be that. That's the only logical explanation I can think of. Nothing in swear words. Yeah. If is there anywhere I can send you a screenshot? You could probably just like change the spelling or like describe it in a more indirect way or something. It's too much work to look at screenshots. And you guys can probably see it if you change from like live, what is it? Top chat to live chat, I think. Realize that others manually reporting you. So there's probably, I think there probably is like a manual reporting process, but what I'm saying is like like the language model itself, like if you, like my guess would be if you had access to the list of all comments that other people had reported, there's probably like Bitcoin spam, and then like crazy conspiracy theorists, like just actually crazy people. Those, like if your comment looks like a crazy person comment, there's the probability that it's spam, it's might go up. So I guess that probably makes it inadvertently flag some innocent comments and jokes. I also sent the previous comment with the bird. Being edited got blocked. Yep, you're being censored. Definitely remember being censored heavily. 2001, 22. Over COVID. Yep. Be interesting to see how the algo works. I think it changes all the time. Like from some of the information that's coming out. Like I kind of naively assumed that it was mostly like good faith stuff, but apparently the US government actually did very directly tell I think like Facebook and stuff to like basically just ban a bunch of accounts that they disagreed with, that weren't the same political leaning as them. Yeah, that's not really a great thing, because it probably won't stop. I think the new administration is just going to be like, well, you guys censored us, so we're going to do it to you, and then now it's never going to stop. All right, my backspacing is working good. I could make a code editor in this. Now it just needs scrolling. First Amendment didn't help it. Well, YouTube is a private platform. Check your comments on video. I've made sure everyone in US is not intelligent enough to not believe the truth. Yep. And the worst part of it is all of the most crazy conspiracy theorists, they were all right about everything. So yeah, it's going to be difficult going forward. Trust is going to be broken for a long time. So many of the conspiracy theories were correct that now people are going to wonder about the most insane ones. About what if aliens built the pyramids? What if they really are lizard people? Right about COVID, I still think we don't even know. There's 50 different narratives about what happened with COVID. I don't even know. There's evidence for all of them. That is what I was trying to send. Aren't we spiraling a bit? It's appropriate given the times. The world is spiraling. Got censored on chemtrails and moon landing. Yep. Yeah, so now, because there's so many other things, now, I always thought that was ridiculous, that the theory that the moon landing was fake. But what if it was faked? Okay, the next is so the Y, scrolling in the Y direction. Added emojis to fool it. Oh, do emojis fool it? I would assume with large language models now, it would get pretty difficult to filter it. As far as we know, the European war couldn't be fake. Zombie's not a serious take. Yeah, I have followed a lot of the in my mental model, I'm 100% sure. I 100% believe it started for sure. Like in the first month, the information we got was a fair reflection of reality. But the longer it goes on, there's tons of information I can get in different sources that's very in depth about, saying, pointing out either side's propaganda. And at this point, I have to say, I actually have no idea, because when within a few months, there's certain things that from reality that were documented beforehand, but then as the months roll by, the difference between the news reports, because if they started censoring a certain part of that reality, the kind of accumulated misinformation could eventually become pretty profound. And over time, that you would the fog of war would basically increase over time. I mean, I think I have a good idea of what's going on over there, but the reality could be totally different. Can't determine what's censoring. I think sometimes it gets into if you say enough things that it doesn't like, then it's oh, this person is misbehaving, and so now it'll start censoring you for random stuff. It's hard to see how well either side is actually doing. Yeah, I think if you really want to try and figure it out, you have to look for indirect information that's completely neutral and hard to fake. I don't know, economic activity. I don't know if there's any Ukrainian companies listed on any stock exchanges. If you can look into their reports and stuff, see how many how much bread are they selling or something, and then infer something about that. I think we should send another $2 billion. We should send that $2 billion to me. I'll spread democracy. Okay, that might implement scrolling. That's incomplete. Shocked how we instantly sent so much to Ukraine. Good thing that doesn't count as entering the conflict. I guess I think really it's like, when it comes to that kind of thing, I think it's almost like outside of the law. It's like it's kind of up to the countries to decide, whether you're getting involved in the conflict. Like on one hand, if you sell material, let's say you sell a bunch of iron ore to a country, and then that country uses it to produce weapons or something, you're not really you're not getting involved at that point, but kind of technically you are. But then it's like, what if instead of selling iron ore, you sell prefabricated iron? Or what if you sell empty missile shells or something? Eventually you have to draw a line somewhere, and what countries try to do is go as close to that line as possible and test the line. But that's why things are heating up in the world. Maybe we shouldn't have mentioned it at all. Look at all the comments. Yep, everyone has opinions. We're being censored hard. Yeah, you're talking about stuff that the government doesn't want you to talk about those things. Okay, I want this to print within a window. Radman is consistently a troll. He likes to test the limits. I think I gave you a warning at least once in the past about. I think I might have timed you out at least once in the past. You haven't been in the chat in a while. And I guess on that note, you are getting kind of spammy. You got let's see, 1, 2. Actually, now that I think about it, I've seen some of your other comments on some of my videos. And I saw them, and I was like, is that person just a bot? Who's just posting flame war stuff? doing it for the science. I mean, one or two of those is maybe kind of funny, but after a while, it gets old. There are no videos on his channel. I'm talking about his. I think I've seen his handle on commenting on some of my videos. I only give you positive comments. And also like and subscribe. That's good. Okay, let's try to get the Y scrolling implemented. On YouTube since 2009, not a bot account. Yeah, I think maybe not. But then again, people can also get their accounts hacked. I think that's a pretty, I think there's a pretty good market for like hacked accounts. If you can get a hacked old account and then you just change the profile pic and stuff. Around when videos were 10 minutes max. Yeah, that was a while ago. I tried to YouTube back in the day, and it couldn't. The video quality was so bad, I just didn't even bother trying. I made a couple of videos, and you couldn't read any of the text in them, so I stopped. Okay, this. Also needs to be and less than was on Usenet. I never used that. 1999. I think I might even have an eBay account. I guess probably not 1999. I bought a couple of things when I was a teenager on there. All right, this is looking good. Oh, look at that. Oh, but it's not typing. Interesting. Okay, that's gonna have to be fixed. But that should be pretty easy. But otherwise, that's the text area is looking pretty good. I'll just fix this not showing up issue. And then I can move toward actually making this into a general purpose UI feature. And then start working on the connection input form in the help menu. Remember sending money orders and envelopes. Yeah, you send cash too. I bought a bunch of stuff with cash. Do you remember names of all the variables? I don't, a lot of the time. I was born in 1999. Robert is a supercoder? That's true. Rob, have you ever looked at the original Doom source code? I have not. Any other Carmack code? No, but I did come across Carmack's. I made one of the shorts videos on the pinky command. And in talking about the pinky command, I researched the history of it and found it was related to the finger command. And you can look up if you want, look up my video on the pinky command, because in that I mention the finger command, and I think at the end of the video I have a thing on John Carmack, I guess, published daily updates or something on using the finger protocol. And there's I think GitHub repo out there about some of his. I think that was when he was making Doom, or one of those things. So that's my contribution to that part of lore and history. Used to his finger across the internet that way. Yeah, until the Morris worm came along, and then that took down everybody. All right, that'll be it for today. We made another little bit of progress on the input menu, and it's looking pretty good. I don't think there's really many corner cases left, and if there is, then we'll cross our bridge when we come to it. All right, that'll be it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow for day 258. All right, have a good night, guys.